Have you ever been scrolling Instagram or reading a founder story and thought, oh, she's so lucky? I'm Alicia Mafadia and I want to welcome you to She Got Lucky, where luck is just the beginning. After building 3 global brands, creating next level wealth through my social media, and being announced as Instagram's first Reels Pro, I know that there's a lot more than luck to getting started, and that with the right strategy, mindset, and drive, almost anyone can create a business that feels too good to be true or too fun to be considered work. In this podcast, we explore the stories of women who've made their mark, not just by chance, but through trust, resilience, and a belief in their capabilities. We'll dive into the actual strategies, stories, and secrets of success. So, if you're ready to chase your dreams, and instead of wondering how she did it, make it happen for yourself, tune in and let's redefine what it means to be lucky in the world of business.
This episode is really heartbreaking that it's even an episode. It's heartbreaking that it's happened. It's heartbreaking that it continues to happen. But I was not aware that this was a thing. I was not aware that people were doing this, and I wish I had have known. So this episode is a warning, a lesson, a big lesson. I want you to learn from this so that hopefully you don't have to experience this as well. It's probably one of the most violating experiences absolutely since starting my business. But it's truly up there. Now, if you're sitting there wondering what the heck has happened, and perhaps you haven't seen, I started this conversation too late in my eyes, actually, if I'm honest. This first happened over 2 years ago now. And I think I was afraid to come out and talk about this because I was afraid what other people would do. Would people do this as well? I didn't want to bring attention to it, to bring attention to perhaps buying from the fake. Okay, so let me backtrack. For course creators, if you have digital products, if you have courses, if you know someone who has courses, this episode is for you. If you are considering about creating a course, this episode is for you. I have created a few courses now, and every single one of them has been 100% original of me, of my work, of everything I live and breathe and help my clients with. It's everything I've invested in to become. It is my body of work. And I have now not experienced once, but I've experienced twice having my courses stolen. Once again, I cannot believe this is even a thing. So let me take you back, because in this episode, I want to take you through the experience, the story. I put it out to my broadcast channel, to my community, to allow them to ask any questions that they want, to really be a part of this episode, because I really do want this to be such a important lesson so that you never have to experience anything like this, because it is truly heartbreaking. Now, let me go back. How did I find out about this? How did as I said, I didn't even know that this was a thing. I didn't even know there were sites that literally illegally take people's courses and then resell them. So it all really started with a DM. That's how most of my stories in business begin, a DM. And it was a client, it was a student of ours, and she messaged and said, "Hey, I want to let you know that I had a DM from someone and they were telling me, oh, I see that you follow, I see that you follow her, I see you follow them, and, you might be interested to buy the course, not for this price, but for our price. You can buy it from us." And this was followed up by another message from someone in our community, which I'm forever grateful for. And so that really, like, red flags were going, alarm bells were going. I was like, what on earth? Like, what on earth? This is not a fake message. What on earth? So from there, I went and Googled, and this is how it's been confirmed on both times. So if you're a course creator, highly, highly, highly recommend Googling your course or Googling your name and literally scroll down. Now, unfortunately, when I Googled it, it literally took 20 seconds to see it. It was on the first page at the time. And like when you Googled it, it was literally on the first page. Underneath our official website was this fake. Like how screwed up is that? And you know, originally I was like, oh, surely they'd steal the course and rename it or whatever. But they didn't. They used the name. They used the name of the course. They used my name. They used the copy. They used images. It's literally like, why buy it from her when you can buy it from us for this price? You know, like, what? So anyway, the initial thoughts, as soon as I realized this happened, and both the first time and the second time, it was the same process, right? When I realized this had happened, I went straight to my course provider, my course platform, and I use Kajabi, and I still, to this day, despite experiencing this, I still absolutely freaking love and just, I really do recommend Kajabi completely. But I went to the platform and I went into students. And so you can go into the course and you can see the progress of each student. And instantly I was like, well, if they've stolen the whole course, they will have needed to have completed the course. So straight away, process of elimination, it was going through and, breaking it down to all the students that have completed the course. Because on these websites where they're reselling it, of course, there is no identity to whose website this is. It's not like, Alice John is selling it. Oh, Alice, I knew her. I can't believe she's stolen it and reselling it. It's not like that. It's this random Gmail account or random email account. And otherwise, there is no proper identification of whose website or whose business this is that is reselling people's work. And so, I mean, even one website, oh my gosh, because what happens is it pops up on one website. One website gets your course. The person who stole your course uploads it to their website for a ridiculously cheap, ridiculous, insane, illegal price. And then another website will download it and then put it on theirs, and then another on theirs, and then another on theirs. It's like when you upload an image to the internet, it's like almost impossible to take it down. That's what it was with this. And one of the websites that was reselling our course, I went and looked at our team, part on their website. And the team members, if you've ever watched Suits, you will know this completely. So the CEO was Jessica Pearson. The head of finance was Lewis Litt. Like Jessica Pearson, Lewis Litt, Harvey Specter, like all the people apparently who were on the team and who was a part of this business were characters from the TV show Suits. Like that now just makes me laugh. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Part of me is like, who on earth would actually trust a website like this? Anyway, so coming back to the process when I realized this had happened. So I went through the students' progress and I eliminated all students who hadn't completed the course. If they've downloaded the course, they will have had to have completed it. So I went through everyone who was 100%. And then from there, it was like, where are the red flags? So a lot of my students, I knew who they were. So I wasn't looking for them. I was looking for anyone who either A, I had never heard of, didn't know, or B, had like a red flag name or, the details were red flags. And it didn't take long to find the account. It was a fairly fake name. You know, they're the details that we ask our students to fill in when purchasing the course, when joining, that was all fake. You know, a random address in, like, I think it was Lebanon or Ukraine or something like that. And everything was just like, this is it. This is the fake. This is, somebody has literally signed up. Obviously, and they're not going to put their identity to it. And all of this is fake. Their Instagram that they had put down was a fake account. It wasn't even a real account. So that's when it all really became quite like, this happened. And it's one of those moments where it feels very violating, and in some sense you feel like, felt a little bit stupid, if I'm being honest. I felt a little bit naive. You know, how would I let this happen? How did I let this happen? How did I not see the signs? How did this happen? You know, feeling taken advantage of is such a horrible feeling. And that's what I felt in that moment. So there was not much we could do. Somebody had already stolen the course. We didn't know their proper identity. We didn't know who to properly contact, other than the information, the minor bits of information that we properly did have. So, you know, the emails that were connected to these websites where they said, you know, you got a problem, or, you know, if you've bought a course, like, they've put an email for people who purchase the courses, not for people who they've stolen their courses and are coming back to tell them to take it down. So literally I just went straight to our lawyer, and I'm very, very grateful. I have a very, very good lawyer, and she handled it. But whilst we had great terms and conditions, and this is actually one of the questions from Vanessa on Instagram. Vanessa asked, how do you prevent it? Yes, there's T's and C's, but how do you enforce them? And this is exactly it. You can put the money into T's and C's, but if you do not have somebody that you can physically hold to breaking the terms and conditions, to going against the ways that they can use your course, if you don't have somebody that you can contact, that you can, you know, sue, whatever, tell them to take it down, then it's going to make it very, very hard. And this is what it was. We spent so much money on legal fees of our, you know, of the lawyers trying to track down people from all over the world who didn't really have a clear identity to tell them to take it down. So I believe that, you know, we spent thousands of dollars on this, and I think we got maybe 2 of the websites taken down, but then, you know, 2 others popped up. So that's why the second time this happened, it hit just as hard. It hurt just as much. But that's why the second time I haven't taken legal action. I haven't taken legal action because I know that it's taking my time, my energy, you know, my money for people who have done a horrible thing. And so I haven't gone to the lawyers this time, because at the end of the day, there's, you know, we spent all that money last time. There's still these sites trying to sell it. So what I have done, though, is I've learnt to see the signs faster so I can shut it down. I've become more aware. I've changed the way I structure courses so that way it protects me a little bit more. So I'm not saying if you put all these things in place, it's never going to happen. But if you are aware, if you understand little steps that I've taken that I recommend you take as a course creator, as somebody who has an online digital product, then you will protect yourself, and I truly believe you'll be less likely to have this happen to you. So let's go through some of these things, right? There's so many things I want to share about this story that I haven't yet, but let's go through some of the things that I recommend doing. First of all, absolutely make sure you have a lawyer. Make sure you have somebody who has written terms and conditions, so that way it stops a lot of people from doing this, especially with the rise of, you know, course reseller rights, whatever. Like, don't even, we're not going to even discuss that and people who are doing that and think that that's okay, whatever, right? Have a lawyer, have terms and conditions, be protected and feel secure. That's the first thing. Yes, it costs money, but oh my gosh, I remember when I first engaged with my lawyer, I realized that it felt like I was sort of like walking on a tightrope between two buildings. I was trying to get from point A to point B, and I was walking on a tightrope, and it was very, like up very high between two high buildings. Like, yes, there's a chance I get across, but there's a high chance I could fall off. So instantly, when I had the help and the support of a lawyer who I completely trusted, it felt a lot less daunting. I felt like I had like a hammock or a what is it called? Like a safety net below. So that's the first thing. Second of all, have a course platform like Kajabi. And one thing I love on Kajabi is that you can turn off. You can make it so that people don't have the option to download it. I can't believe that there are some sites that actually allow people, and some course creators allow people to download the trainings. You pay for a course platform to ensure it's hosted on there so that people can't download, take your work, take your trainings, take what you teach, manipulate it, or sell it as their own. So make sure that your trainings, your courses cannot be downloaded. Now, as you can see, the course has been stolen, the course has been downloaded. How did that happen? If you had that setting off, there's illegal platforms, there's illegal plugins that clearly they did. But you can protect yourself by ensuring that for your students, legally, there is no option for them to download your trainings. From there, other things that we did was a virtual assistant or somebody on your team, somebody to support you, especially if you've got quite a large number of students enrolling consistently. Looking over who is enrolling, just going through and give it a little check, right? We require them to put in their name. We require them to put in their Instagram. We require them to give us their address. So instantly, just a few little things, rather than just perhaps a name and an email or whatever, instantly, it gives us a few more points of contact, points of, potentially could be flagged at certain points. If they put in their Instagram and you go and look and it's a fake Instagram, or it's not even like there is no account attached to that Instagram, boom, red flag. And if they've just joined and you're aware of, red flag, you can block their account or you can block their access to the course until further verification is provided. So that's also a really, really good thing, is just to have a quick little look over. And if it's not possible for you to do that, have a team member who does that. On both occasions, the person who has bought the course, it's been on a payment plan. So they're able to make a payment or whatever, and then again, they're masters at this. So they are able to get away with paying the bare minimum and downloading all your work for it. So that's another thing is, they join on a payment plan, they join on the lowest amount that they need to put up front to get what they want. So that's another red flag. Another red flag was somebody going through the course very quickly. Because, I have worked with thousands of students across my courses. And even the most enthusiastic do not consume an entire course, 4 modules, 6 modules, 7 modules, whatever it is. Do not consume that within, like 3 hours. Okay, like they consume it over a few weeks or over a few days. So when I notice that a student is going back to back to back to back to back, it's like, oh, this is a red flag. They're using some sort of plugin to screen record or download or whatever, one after the next, after the next, after the next. Of course, they want to get in and do it as quickly as possible. Now, unfortunately, our platform doesn't give us, hey, Alicia is 25% of the course through. Sandra is 30% of the course through. Leah is 50%. Like, it doesn't give you these updates as your students go. Thank goodness. We'd be having, notifications and emails all the time. So it doesn't give you that. So what I came up with to set up was, it does give us notifications when a student completes a quiz. So at the end of each module, I loved having quizzes. I loved having sort of like a little check-in. Do not go on to the next module until you've done this, for the student's experience as well. Because I have taken that many courses myself, and the courses that I get results with, the course that I've been able to see the ROI, is where I've truly implemented it and taken action, not just listened. I've consumed one module, gone and taken action. I've consumed a next training, gone and taken action. Rather than consuming it all at once and never taking action, you're not going to see the results. So both for the user experience and our protection, I set up the quizzes. So at the end of each module, there was a quiz, a few questions, and that way, once the quiz was completed, then they would get access to the next module. So the whole course wasn't available. They weren't able to just jump into module 6, module 2, module 3. They had to complete it in the way that I had set out and created it. That made sense. Again, from the user experience, from a student experience, to get the best results, I've created this course in this structure. I want you to experience it in that structure, and it protects me from someone who perhaps is just going in there quickly to download everything. So you have the option in Kajabi, when people do complete a quiz, you have the option to get a notification there. So the most recent time that I've had someone stolen the course, I had a notification come in, completed quiz for module 1. Half an hour later, completed quiz for module 2. An hour later, completed quiz for module 3. So when I get one after the next, that is a red flag. That's a red flag. Go and look at their account. Go and look at their name. Check their address. Check their Instagram account. And if it is not verified that this is someone real, revoke access. Because if it's a mistake by us, I'm willing to apologize. If it's a mistake by us, I'm willing to change it. I'm willing to undo it. But revoke access? And when I did revoke access, all of a sudden the payment plan was cancelled and blah, 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 blah. No one reached out and said, excuse me, I was wrongly, my access was revoked and this is incorrect. No one reaches out. They know that they've been caught. They know that someone's caught onto their plan. So it's actually, there's been quite a few times that we've been able to shut down our course from being stolen. So that's been good, especially because, the first course that was stolen, we would then put in the time to revamp it, redo it, update it, so that not only is the one that's being resold is outdated and old, but as well, we were able to make sure the second time it wasn't stolen. So these are some of the big things. Definitely the quizzes, big thing. And the final thing that I really recommend you do is ensure, if you're building a course, if you're building a digital product, right, build a brand with it. Because I would never have known, maybe I would have known later down the track, but I would never have known in that moment, that first time, if it wasn't for our incredible students or our incredible followers who truly were there for us. Because it was them who reached out and said, hey, I just got an email from someone saying, do you want to buy this course? Don't buy it from them. Don't buy it for $1,000. Buy it for $36. These people who stole the course, this person who stole the course was literally emailing people who followed us. They were going onto their account on Instagram, right? Oh, you follow them? Do you have an email attached to your account? Cool, I'll email you. They were DMing them, trying to convince them, are you interested in buying this course? Don't buy it from them, buy it from us for X amount. So these are all some things, right? So building the brand, building your community is such a big part of it. Because even me now, right? Like I remember the first time this sort of, I had the choice. I had the choice. I had an experience like this in a sense. The first time was back when I was maybe 14. And it was Kayla Itzner's, it was at the time it was called her Bikini Body Challenge or her Bikini Body Guide. I know it's definitely not called that now, but at the time that's what it was called. And you could buy it online, or a friend of mine had it. And she's like, we can split the cost. And at 13 or 14, I was like, no, I want to buy it. I think it was like $100. And naturally for me, like that was not a little amount of money, despite the fact that I've been working for a few years by that point and definitely had the money. It was still not a small amount of money. But I wanted to support the person who had built it. I was following her on Instagram. I wanted to do the right thing. I believe in karma. And, back then, and that's where I can gain that trust, because it's super easy when times like this happen that you can then lose the trust in people. You can lose the trust in, the people I'm trying to help don't have my best interest and they're not doing right by me. You can lose trust. And that's a really, really sad part of it, because I definitely, that first experience where the course was stolen, I think that it really impacted the way I felt about the whole experience. And I think it really took a lot more than just stealing the course from me. So it took a lot more. It took a lot more. But I look back to that 13 or 14-year-old version of me who decided not to go Harvey's with a friend, decided not to, get a cheap or a free version from some dodgy site. And I'm like, there's the proof. There is the proof that there's good people who support you and who truly believe in investing and, doing it right, doing the process right. Investing a certain amount is part of the experience, is a part of the learning experience in itself. When I've made big investments, that actual process, that fear that I had to overcome to take that step to invest, that was a lesson in itself. It made me stronger. It made me a better leader, a better business owner, because I was able to overcome that. So that's what I draw back into, and that's what I recommend you to draw back into anytime anyone goes wrong by you about a payment or an investment or steals your course. God forbid, I hope that doesn't happen. But it's important that we don't lose trust in people. What I want you to do now, okay, I would love to know, I would love to hear your thoughts, your feedback on this episode. I would love to hear perhaps your experience, if you've experienced anything like this. Or, even if you don't have a course, as I said, send this to a course creator. Send this to someone who has a course. Being aware is such a valuable thing. And I really have, I've given it all to you in this episode. Given it all because I want you to be aware. I want others to be aware. Okay. It's something that I am able to now lead my clients with. My clients who have courses, my clients who are creating courses. I'm able to guide you in a way to protect yourself to the best way possible. Now, there's one more thing that I want to say on this. Okay, so something you can actually do right now to be aware if perhaps, a friend of yours who has a course or you have a course, and if this has happened to you, some things to just be aware of. But first, I want to just give you, share this episode with a course creator Share this episode with them. Copy the link, send them this. Copy the link, send this episode to them. Tell them they need to listen to this right now. Second thing I want you to do is continue this conversation with me. Leave a review, leave a comment on this episode. Come over onto Instagram, thesocialimpact.co, and send me a DM. How are you feeling after this episode? Have you experienced this? Are you a course creator? Continue the conversation. I invite you to continue the conversation with me. And third, go onto Google. Google your name, Google your course, and see if anything pops up. Because I did it just before this episode. And I remember it sparked a memory of where I became aware that people were actually looking to download my course. Was either, I think it was on Reddit the first time, reddit.com. And people had actually made a post about my course saying, has anyone heard it? Has anyone seen it? Has anyone got it downloaded? So I instantly, my ears pricked up and I thought, okay, what the heck? People act like, by this point I'd had the first course stolen. So I was aware that this was a thing. And I was like, wow, okay, I need to be aware that perhaps at some point now that people have, brought it up, has anyone got, this course downloaded? Has anyone got it for a cheaper price? It may happen. And, even on some of these dodgy websites, they actually have, is there a course that we don't have that you want? Let us know. So just being aware is really powerful. But I had a look and, I can see here some of these websites, like, this course of mine, they're still out there. My goodness, I would not give my money to these dodgy sites, and like, let alone the fact that it's awful what they've done and it's illegal. But also, my gosh, like, I would not trust my details, my account information, my card information by putting them into these websites. And, you look at the questions, commonly asked questions. The legal environment, yes or no? The legality of our activity is ambiguous. While we don't have specific permission from the course authors to resell the material, there is a technicality at work. The author did not specify any limits on resale when purchasing the course. This legal intricacy is both an opportunity for us and a boon for individuals. Like, what on earth? All of that is complete BS. All of that is complete BS. And if people would read this and like, how do people think this is okay? They're trying to justify the fact that they've illegally downloaded someone's course. Sorry, what? And, on these, as I said, on these course resale sites, there is so many of them. It's not a case of I could list them because there's that many of them. And my name is there. My photo is there. They're literally selling it as if I have given them permission. It's so incredibly wrong. So incredibly wrong. So please go have a look. Do it for your friends as well. Check for them. Down the bottom of this website, I can see other related products, and I can see some, business owners that I'm aware of that I've got connections with, and I'll be reaching out to them and let them know. Okay. Just so that they are aware, because awareness is a powerful, powerful thing. So, big episode, not exactly my usual typical upbeat, but it's so important. I hope you found the value in this episode. Okay. If you're not already following She Got Lucky, please click follow, click subscribe, whatever it is on your podcast provider. New episodes are out every Monday. And, not only are we here to inspire, not only am I here to open the conversation up so you can be a part of this, but I'm also always, always, always going to give it to you real and tell you what beyond the highlight feed, beyond the success story, what happened and what I want you to know so that you can leap past the challenges that I have faced so that you can completely soar ahead and see the best results for yourself. All right, I'm going to go have dinner, but I'll chat to you in the next episode.